If you think you need to bomb at 300 yards to break 90, think again. In today's round, I'm leaving my driver in the bag on purpose to prove you don't need some crazy distance to shoot a great score.
Just like that.
I'm showing you shot by shot how to pick smarter targets, avoid those blow-up holes, and actually play golf, not just swing as hard as you can. You'll see good course management, better putting, and how a calm mindset can help you break 90 consistently no matter how far you hit the golf ball. Stick around because this might just change the way you think about your next round.
All right, now typically I would hit driver off this hole, but because today I want to show you that it's possible to break 90 even if you don't hit the ball far, I'm going to hit a 5-iron off this first tee. The goal today is no blow-up holes and to teach you how the next time you play, not to get that triple bogey, not to get that double bogey, but to play smart out there. So Josiah's my cameraman. I want you to show him off this first tee here, those white out of bounds stakes. We have out of bounds hugging the right side of this first hole. What's gonna cause you to get those irritating triple bogeys and double bogeys and all that crap? We hit a ball in the hazard. If I hit my first shot into the hazard, now I gotta drop 2, I'm hitting 3 from the same exact spot. What I wanna do to make sure I don't get a big number on this hole, I'm gonna notice where can I hit it and there's gonna be no penalty hazard. So I can basically go as far left as I want to on this hole. And there's really no trouble out there. It's just gonna make the hole longer. What I'm gonna do when I line up to hit this shot is I'm actually gonna aim down the left side. And by going down the left side, I'm taking away out of bounds. And the other thing is, don't hit it out of bounds. Don't hit it out of bounds to the right. Don't hit it out of bounds to the right. We'll talk more about that later, but that's bad thought. It went just left of the cart path. So I pulled it, wasn't a good shot, but it's not out of bounds. So I can still get my bogey on this hole, no problem. I don't know how much you paid attention in math class, but all you have to do to break 90 is basically get a bogey on every hole. So we're playing at the local muni here today, Bobby Jones, and it's a par 71. If we just get a bogey on every hole, that's an 89 and we break 90. Now the problem is blow-up holes. That's where I consider a blow-up hole a double bogey, a triple bogey, a quadruple bogey. It happens, and when it does, it inflates our scores. That's what makes the scores go up. And I know the pros, their perfect scorecard is just pars and birdies and eagles, but most of us don't have that skill set. It's actually the average score for a golfer is in the low 90s. So really? Yeah, so if you're breaking 90, you're actually above average. That was a bad shot, but it's not gonna lead to a bad score. A bad score on this first hole would have been I hit it into the white hazard and then I'm hitting 3 off the tee. So even though I pulled my shot and it didn't go that far and went left, I can still get a bogey or par on this hole by aiming away from the hazard. All right, so here's a tip that could change your golf game forever. What I used to do is I would have lined up there and I'd have been like, okay, don't hit it to the right out of bounds. Don't hit it to the right out of bounds. And then next thing you know, I'd hit it to the right out of bounds. And so I learned something from race car drivers. So when you're going like 200 miles per hour, you got to turn left, right? They're not looking up at the wall or their car would end up and hit that wall. They're looking to where they want to go. So they want to cut that corner to the left and then that's where their car goes at this very high speed. So on the golf course, if you want your ball to go at these trees, don't be thinking about out of bounds to the right. Be really lining up and looking at your target and visualize. This is so powerful. We're going to talk more about this throughout the day. Visualize that success. In the meantime, make sure your thoughts aren't don't go right, but aim at your targets. I'm going to take a little bit extra club because it's early in the morning. We got about 190 yards to the pin. So I'm just going to aim at the middle of the green. All right, another bad shot. Yanked it to the left again. It's going to be left and short of that bunker. No big deal. We can still get our bogey. This might be the most valuable tip I've ever shared on the channel that will help you lower your scores. And that's having a rule around the greens of no double chips. I have a very difficult chip here. There's a big bunker with a big lip in my way that I got to carry the ball over. Then there's out of bounds behind the green. So all I'm focusing on is not double chipping. So I'm going to take 3 practice strokes here, swings with my left arm, and all I'm measuring victory by here is getting this ball on the green from 32 yards. Then I can 2-putt, get my bogey, and move on. No big deal. Perfect. I accomplished my goal. It'd be crazy to par this hole, but even if we don't, we can still break 90 with the bogey. We had a big thunderstorm come through actually about 30 minutes before our tee time. So the reason I mentioned that is these greens are going to be pretty slow. Putting from this length, you can't get 3 putts. If you're going to practice golfing, practicing chipping and putting is what's going to start lowering our scores the most. But when I'm looking at this putt, I try to look at it from every angle possible, because I want to kind of feel how far away it is with my muscle memory, just so I can try to get it within 3 feet. Even if I'm a little short, if it's in 3 feet, I can make them pretty good from underneath 3 feet. Great speed. All right, that was an effortless bogey. We're on track to break 90. And I didn't even hit, I hit 2 bad shots on this hole and I still got a bogey. No harm, no foul, no double chips, no 3 putts. Now we got a very difficult dogleg right on the next hole. Okay, so this is a dogleg right, but we got a problem. That out of bounds that we had on the last hole that goes down the right side, it continues down the right side on this hole. Off to my left, it's all the other holes on the course. So I can go as far left as I want. Normally I'd hit a driver off this hole and crush it out there, but I want to show you that I can get a bogey on this hole or better, not have any blow up holes by not hitting it as far. So I'm going to hit a 4-iron off the tee here. I'm visualizing myself hitting it out there just left of that white stake. So my feet, my shoulders should be lined up to that area. And I yanked it left again, but it's fine. It's absolutely fine. So it didn't go that far. I avoided out of bounds 2 holes in a row. I'm avoiding those blow up holes. Let's go make some smart decisions on this approach shot. And so now I'm going to aim left of the pin intentionally. I don't want to miss it right and go out of bounds. So this is a very dangerous second shot. For me, I can still get my bogey. If I'm short and left, chip it on the green, 2 putt, we get a bogey. I'm going to choke down on a 7-iron here. We're about 185 yards. Intentionally trying to take out of bounds out of play here. Just aim left and short of the green. All right. It's going to be all right. I think it's just short of the green. Wasn't my best swing. I'm still kind of cold and stiff. We can chip on. No double chips today. 2 putt, get our bogey. Who knows? Maybe we'll even make a par putt. So I was talking about visualization earlier. I want you to imagine, you ever been to the state of Georgia? They got big mountains up there. So imagine North Georgia and you got a cabin. The nicest cabin. It's a log cabin. And imagine it's in the winter. It actually gets cold in Georgia in the winter. You look outside the window, you see these beautiful mountain ranges. And imagine all your favorite people, all of them. They're all there, catered food, so all the food's there in the kitchen. How do you feel right now, Josiah? I feel good just thinking about it as well. It kind of makes me miss. I used to live up there. But emotionally, you feel good just from me talking about that real quick. Absolutely. So in golf, you want to visualize success. You want to think best outcome. So I have a really long putt here. It's going to be the most difficult 2 putt of the day. I'm going to visualize myself putting this ball up, it landing close to the hole, or not landing, but rolling up close to the hole, and then me making my next putt for the par. Our thoughts are going to influence our decisions. I'm visualizing my ball going up there and just kind of slowing down and nestle up right next to the hole. There it goes. There it goes. Slow down. Slow down. All right. So now we have this for par. So I'm going to visualize it going in. And if it's going to go in, it's going to come in on this side of the hole. Just like that. I saw that happen before it just happened. That's a par. Now, today's video, I'm trying to show you how to break 90 without hitting the ball far. All we need is bogeys on every hole. So that was like a bonus. We have another danger par 3 here because there's out of bounds just right of the hole or right of the green. I'm going to actually aim just left of the flag stick here, and I'm taking plenty of club because I noticed there's a big sand trap in front of the green. I'm okay with going a little bit behind the green, but I want to make sure my ball clears that bunker and it doesn't go out of bounds right, so I'm aiming left of the pin. That's going right where I aimed. Perfect. That's exactly where I was aiming. That's exactly the outcome that I wanted to have there. I hit it right there. Now we got a putt for birdie. So this is right next to the green. That white stake, there's actually a bank right here. So technically, if you hit it just right of the green, it could hit this, kick right, and go out of bounds. One thing you can do to lower your scores, one thing I can do to lower my scores, is finish around the golf, and you're like, you know what? Today, I hit 0 balls out of bounds. I hit 0 balls into the red hazards. That's success, no matter what your handicap is. My handicap's a 4. Your handicap could be an 18 or an 11 or a 14 or a 12. It doesn't matter. we all have the same benefit of avoiding the big numbers, and the way we avoid the big numbers is simply not hitting the ball out of bounds and into the hazard. Back to the green here for a birdie putt. First shot I aimed up here, and this is exactly where it hit. So I'm going to consider that a big success. Now I'm taking note that it's starting to dry out. We're on the third hole. It hasn't rained in a while. The green's going to speed up a little bit. It's downhill, so I'm visualizing my ball coming through here, coming through here, coming through here, going in. But honestly, anything in this 3-foot radius around the hole is my goal. All right, I'm very, very happy with that. Josiah, this is called the high side?
Yes.
This is called the low side. So because I missed my ball on the high side, it didn't get away from me. But what happens is a lot of folks, they'll miss the ball on this low side, and then because the turf continues to run away, the ball will just go. So your next putt will be farther. My next putt's a gimme. Most golfers will give you a gimme, but on YouTube they give you no gimme, so we'll tap in our par. How to break 90? All we're really focused on is just avoiding hitting it out of bounds, honestly. We're only 1 over through 3. All right, we got back-to-back par 5s coming up. I'm not gonna hit driver today intentionally because I want to prove that you can break 90 without hitting the ball far. I love this par 5 here because the out of bounds is way, way left and way, way right. So pretty much there's no trouble off this drive other than the trees. Aim right down the middle, knock one out there. All right, just a little baby cut to the right. That's fine, it's left of the tree. Now on this par 5, even though I hit a 3-wood and not a driver, we have just a little bit over 200 yards in. So I can hit this on the green. What I'm looking at is there's a bunker short of the green. So I want to make sure I get it past those and then just try to aim for the middle or the right side of the green. All right, the ball is going right at that big flag stick, right where I aimed. And it landed there on the right side of the green. So we're putting for eagle. What I want to note to you there is I did not aim anywhere near the pin, which is on the left side of the green. If I would have aimed at the pin, I've been all day long, Josiah, I've been yanking them to the left. There's a big bank that kicks left, and then there's a tree there, and it's called being short-sighted. So then when I'm chipping up, I wouldn't have had much green to work with. So I intentionally aimed 40 yards right of the pin. All right, so as I'm approaching the green, I'm looking, there's my ball, putting for eagle, pumped up about that. I'm trying to look at this from every angle. So from this angle, I'm noticing it's gonna go a little bit downhill and a little bit right to left. I'm trying to get my muscle to just feel the green, feel the turf, feel how long this lag putt's gonna be. And that brings up the next point I wanna make. No 3 putts. It's easier said than done for the pros. For us, it really takes focus out here. So I'm not necessarily trying to make this lag putt. I'm envisioning a circle that's 3 feet all the way around the hole. If I can get this putt in that 3-foot circle, then I have a 3-footer or less for birdie. Here it comes down the hill, right into my 3-foot, goal. So that was a big success. No gimmies on YouTube. We're back to even par. Playing smart. If you're ever in Sarasota, Florida and play Bobby Jones golf course, one thing I like about it is these back-to-back par 5s. The 4th hole coming this way and then the 5th hole's right alongside it going back. And there's no out of bounds. Pretty much you can just aim down the middle and just try to knock it out there. So mentally, it's not good to think beyond your next shot. If I start thinking, oh, I'm even par, if I par out, I'm gonna shoot even, or I'm plus whatever, if I do this out, I'm gonna break whatever goal, that's distracting. So just like we have distractions in life that take us away from our focus, when we're really laser focused, we can make a lot of progress. So what should we be laser focused on? Our next shot. That's it. I'm picking out my target, which is that white stake out there. I'm gonna aim right at the 150 marker. And I'm not thinking about anything other than making sure I'm lined up and I'm just visualizing this ball coming off the club right at that white stake and finishing my swing. All right, it started out at the white target and then it sliced to the right behind that tree. Not the best result, but we'll go see where it's at and make a wise decision from there. All right, so I have a really bad lie in the mud, and I know my misses when I have a muddy shot, I usually chunk it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take like a little chip shot with a 4-iron and just try to hit the ball clean and just punch it back into the fairway. Just like that. Nothing fancy. One probably 120 yards, low little line drive. We're back in play. So we got 120 yards to the middle of the green. I'm just gonna aim just a little bit right of that pin there. The ground's very wet, so I'm focusing on making sure I have nice clean contact and not chunking this. All right, that was very successful. I usually chunk those when it's really wet like that, and that was a golf shot. So I hit it nice and clean. One thing to lower your scores is to analyze your misses. So a lot of times in the past when I played and I had a muddy lie or a wet lie, I used to chunk them all the time. So now I'm just really aware to make sure that club face hits that ball before it hits the turf. There's a little bit more leeway when it's dry, but when it's wet, the chunky monkeys are right there waiting for you if you're not proactive. All right, notice this is gonna break more than normal. So it's gonna break a lot left to right. I'm paying attention to that. I'm also just visualizing that 3-foot circle around the hole that I want to end my ball up in. It's coming down. Missed it on the high side. I just hit it too far. So now we got a tester for par here. We haven't had a 3-putt yet today, so hopefully we can knock this one in. If you ever have time to practice golf, this is the best thing you can practice is putts at this range. Next time you're out on the course, I guarantee you're gonna have several of these putts. It doesn't matter what skill level you have. It's uphill, and I'm visualizing it going in. And if it's gonna go in, it's gonna come in on this side of the hole. So my focus and my attention's on that right side of the hole. I pushed it to the right. All right, that's our first 3-putt of the day. But it's a bogey. And why is it a bogey and not a triple? Because on that second shot, I didn't try to be a hero and take a full swing when I knew my ball was in the mud. I don't like getting bogeys on par 5s, but I definitely don't like doubles or triples. So a few mistakes on that one, but not the big mistake of hitting it in the water hazard. So we got our bogey. We can still break 90 with bogeys, no big deal. We do have out of bounds all the way down the right side, just right of that cart path. I am going to pick my target that's left of the center of the fairway. I see some trees way out there by the green, so I'm gonna aim at those. And I hit it straight as an arrow. That was a good shot. So it's gonna be in the left rough, but I actually aimed that way because my goal is to help you, to help me, to help us rearrange the furniture in our brain, stop getting blow-up holes by hitting it out of bounds. All right, it's 66 yards to the front of the green, 91 to the back. I like to know when I'm looking on my app, and somebody asked what app I use. I just use 18 birdies and it shows me like the front of the green, the back of the green right now. I know I want to hit it past 66 yards. I want to hit less than 91 yards, and I don't want to have a double chip. I consider this a long chip. I'm just focused on knocking this onto the center of the green there. Because the pin's in the front, I'm okay with going past the pin onto the middle of the green. Should be pretty good, Josiah. Yes, sir. Go in. Woo-wee. All right, that was really good. That was my best shot of the day. It's uphill, so I can be very aggressive. I'd always rather putt it uphill than downhill because you can be more aggressive uphill. So it's going to go a little left to right. The firmer you putt, the less it's going to break. So I'm going to intentionally putt this one pretty firm. There's a big pebble right in my line, so always be paying attention. I'm visualizing my ball coming up through here. It's going to come in on this side of the hole. See if we can get a birdie. Just like that. Let's go. That's the second birdie of the day. My goal on this hole wasn't birdie when I teed off. I didn't even use my driver. What was my goal? Making sure that I don't get a blow up score. But most importantly, we didn't get that double or triple. That's my goal for you. Next time you golf, playing so smart away from the hazards that you have no hazards, you have no blow up holes. All right, we're not hitting driver today because again, want to show you how to break 90 if you don't hit the ball far. So we're going to hit a hybrid off this tee, and there is all kind of trouble to the left. I'm aiming right. That sand trap out there, I'm going to try to hit it over that thing to the right. All right, I pulled it a little bit, Josiah, to the left, but because I aimed so far right, it should be okay over there. All right, we have 38 yards to the pin. This par 4 is very short, but again, show them all that to the left, Josiah. It's so simple. I mean, the cart path is right next to the fairway, and then the trouble is just left of the cart path. So anything where you miss the fairway, if you hit it in there, you're looking at a double, a triple bogey. 38 yards to the pin, no double chips today. So just making sure I hit it to the green. No double chips. That's a good chip. All right, we'll have another putt at birdie. I'm taking a look at it. It's gonna go left to right, about 1 cup. Give it a nice roll. All right, I missed it on the high side, tap in par. Again, we avoided that water hazard to the left. I'm happy camper with that. Now we got the toughest hole on the course coming up, a long par 3 with out of bounds with sand. This hole's tough. All right, we got a long 200 yard, over 200 yard par 3 with a bunker on the left, bunker on the right, out of bounds long. Toughest shot of the day. Let's try to knock it up there on the green. Oh yeah, Josiah, that's right at it. Let's go. Okay, it actually went over the green. What in the world? I crushed that thing. I'm okay with going just a little bit long because I didn't go in the bunker, but at least I hit it very straight. I aimed in between the 2 bunkers and I hit it straight. So let's go see if we can get a good chip on the green. All right, so this is called casual water. So when I take a step, Josiah, do you see how water squirts out?
Yes.
So in golf, if you put your foot down like that and water squishes out, you get a free drop no closer to the hole. So when I come back here, it's still soggy. It gets a little bit drier back here. So I'm gonna drop it right there. You get a free drop. And I chunked it and we have a double chip. So Dumbbell Junior, that was a mistake on my end. I knew that the grass there was very soggy and that would have been my tendency to chunk it, and I did. So now we have a double chip, which is not good. In order to avoid a double bogey here, it would have been a lot easier if I would have not had double chip, but we do. So let's see if we can get this one close here. Bite, 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 bite. All right, that wasn't bad. We have this for the bogey. All right, because my next chip was better, we survived. Our scorecard's still clean. And my definition of clean today is no double bogeys, no triple bogeys, no quadruple bogeys, no blow up holes. And my goal for you next time you go out and play golf is that you're gonna report back to me, Mr. Paul, I played and I had no blow up holes. I've made a couple mistakes today, a 3-putt and a double chip that I'm gonna work on personally. But my overall goal for the day of breaking 90 has been, I know if I have no penalty shots, I'm gonna break 90. And so that, I've been successful for that so far. All right, there's no out of bounds on this hole, so I'm gonna go ahead and aim right at that 150 marker in the middle of the fairway. There is trouble to the left with like overgrown grass, but I feel comfortable aiming down the middle of the fairway and seeing if I can hit a nice shot down the middle. Just like that, baby. A nice draw down the middle. That will do. That was perfect. There's been times in this round where I've aimed in the middle of the fairway, times I've aimed in the left rough, right rough to avoid hazards. That one felt good to aim down the middle and hit it down the middle. So I still haven't even got my rangefinder out to calculate what it is to the pin. I've just been looking, what is it to the front of the green? What is it to the back of the green? And I'm making my club selection off of what club is most likely gonna land in that range. If I know 103 to the front, 133 to the back, my 56-degree wedge is gonna have the most likelihood of going in that range. I like to take a nice strong stance, pretend I'm hitting a driver, finish my swing with a nice little pose. Just like that. I think I was aimed a little left, but nevertheless, it's on the green, putting for birdie. This is speed golf here because I'm gonna try to pass the guy in front of us. I saw him go into the bathroom at the turn. Hang on, I missed it on the low side, Josiah, like a dummy. I was off. I lost my focus there because I wanna pass this guy who's slowing us up. So all I was thinking about was him. See if we can knock one in for par here. Woo-wee! 3-putt. That was just a dumb rush decision to try to pass this guy. We'll go see what happens. All right, so the gentleman in front of us was really nice and he let us play through. Danger, danger, danger on this hole. Right of the cart path is out of bounds, like right next to the cart path. I'm literally aimed down the other hole, down those trees over there that's in between this hole and the other hole, because I am not gonna have a penalty stroke today for hitting it out of bounds. So I'm aiming way left on purpose. All right, so that's actually down the fairway on the other hole intentionally. I hit it really far, right where I'm aimed. I wish someone would have explained how important this was earlier. I know it seems like common sense, but I can't tell you how many rounds I've gotten triple bogeys or double bogeys because I've hit the ball out of bounds. By aiming way left, you're gonna see my score on this hole is gonna be a bogey, a par, or a birdie, or an eagle, but it ain't gonna be no double or triple bogey because I didn't hit the ball out of bounds because I aimed way far away from it. So I'm literally in the fairway on the other hole. So I missed my fairway by 60, 70 yards. No big deal because I have a clear path in from there and I didn't go out of bounds. Now they're still out of bounds on this shot on the right side of the green. So I'm aimed just left of this pin. Par 5, gonna go for it in 2 here. Another yank to the left, but it's okay. I can still get a par, no problem at all. I'm pin high, chipping for eagle, gonna be fine. No double chips, I've already failed that assignment. This one's a very difficult chip because there's not much green to work with because I'm on the side of the hole and the green's narrow where I'm going to. I'm gonna aim a little bit right of the hole where the green opens up a little bit more and just try to chip it up there. All right, that was a very difficult to keep it on the green, but it looks like I did. Mission accomplished. Now we're putting for birdie, and disaster's been avoided on all the shots without a bounce on this hole. We're able to avoid out of bounds. So this is called ground under repair. So we're gonna move it no closer to the hole. So putting for birdie, which is a huge blessing with out of bounds being down the right side of this hole so tight to the fairway. All right, so we've had some putts miss on the low side. I need to start aiming more on the high side so these misses aren't as bad, but I think we can make this for par. All right, smart hole. We hit our first shot left, our second shot left, our chip onto the green, 2-putt, Parmesan. Approaching the tee box, I'm looking, where's trouble? It's to the right of the fairway. Again, there's a lake over there and a pond. So I'm actually aimed left of the fairway. Most people would aim in the middle of the fairway, but if you hit a bad shot, you can go in the hazard. I'm aimed left of the fairway because I'm trying to have no blow-up holes today. Hit it left, right where I aimed, right down the left side. It should catch the left side of the fairway maybe. We're in play. I aimed way away from the hazard. So far today, we've had 0 blow-up holes because of decisions like that, aiming way away from the hazards. We got an 83-yard shot, and I've used these the same as no double chips. So anything inside 100 yards, I want to make sure I put it on the green. This is a long shot, but I'm considering a chip because it's inside 100 yards. Good, I hit it nice and clean. Might be a little too far. Backside of the green, hit a little longer than I want, but hey, we're putting for birdie. Again, I'm visualizing here on this putt, a nice leg putt that ends up in that 3-foot circle down there by the hole. That's not bad. Great speed. It broke a little bit left to right. I thought it was going to be straight. 3-footer for par. Yes, sir. We avoided a big number. Nice leg putt, nice 2-putt, Parmesan. All right, we have a challenging par 3 here. We have hazards to the left. We have bunkers. Really, you just got to dial up an accurate shot here off the tee and try to get it on the green because there's kind of trouble all the way around. I'm not aiming at the pin like a dummy. I'm aimed at the right center of the green. Success here is just knocking it on the green. All right, right where I aimed, right of the pin. That should be on the green. Smart play not to aim at that pin. Another birdie putt. My initial thoughts is it's going a little right to left and it's very far. It's looking pretty good, Josiah.
Great hit.
All right, that's in the 3-foot range. We got rain coming, so I might have to go take cover here. Yes, sir.
Nice hit.
All right, now it's raining. Let's go get Josiah's camera dry. All right, so we have some Florida rain that got us. Here's my hope for you the next time you go out and play golf, and I demonstrated it successfully today, to eliminate your penalty strokes. So today we had no balls in the red hazards, we had no balls in the white hazards, we had no double bogeys, no triple bogeys, no quadruple bogeys, and the scorecard was clean with bogeys, pars, and even a couple birdies because on every shot we picked our target with the question in mind, if I hit my ball here, does it have any chance of going out of bounds? And I would aim so far away from the hazard that even the times where I hit bad shots, I didn't have the consequence of going in the hazard. Personally, I have to clean up my game for the short game because I did have a double chip today, and that's a principle of mine to live by is no double chips. I'm gonna blame it on how soggy the grass was on that chip. And I did have a 3-putt out there today, which that's something I'm personally working on. So my goal is not necessarily just to break 90. My goal is to break 80. I know that the way I can serve the most golfers, because the average score for golf is low 90s, is by teaching others how to break 90s. But what's crazy is that the same principles to break 90 is what's going to help you to break 80. Eliminate those penalty strokes, minimize those 3-putts, no double chips, and really pick your targets smartly. Thanks for watching this video. I know we got cut short with Florida rain. That's what happens down here in Florida. Next time you play, and I want to hear from you, you eliminated your penalty shots by picking smart targets. Thanks for watching. Hope to catch you in the next one.